So today, we're going to decode the silent signals, that unspoken language that decides how people see you before you even say a single word. Let's dive right in. Just think about that for a second. A job interview, a first date, a huge meeting. You might have the most perfect, well-rehearsed opening line ready to go, but the truth is, the game is usually won or lost in those first few moments you walk into a room. That's it. That's all you get. 3 seconds. I mean, in less time than it takes to even say your name, the people looking at you have already made a snap judgment. It's a ridiculously short window, but wow, it can change everything. And here's why that tiny window is so powerful. You've probably heard this before, but it's mind-blowing. Only about 7% of our communication is about the actual words we use. The other 93%? That's your body language, your presence, your tone. So the takeaway here is huge. How you show up matters so much more than what you say, at least at the very beginning. Okay, so let's really break down this whole 3-second judgment thing. What's happening? Well, it's this super fast subconscious process, and it's based almost completely on the nonverbal signals you're sending out, whether you even realize you're sending them or not. To really understand how to get this right, I think it helps to first look at how so many of us get it wrong. We're going to look at some super common mistakes that honestly can make you totally forgettable. They can turn you into what we're going to call the invisible person. And this right here, this lays out the 2 paths you can take the second you enter a space. On one side, you've got the invisible person, all hunched over, rushed, distracted. And on the other, the impressive person, expansive, slow, and focused. The choice you make right at that doorway makes all the difference. Just picture this for a second. Someone shuffles into a room, shoulders slumped forward, their eyes are just glued to their phone. They're physically trying to make themselves smaller to take up as little space as possible. And the subconscious signal that sends is just low confidence. And what happens? Well, people treat them like they're invisible. But, and this is a big but, here's the good news. This is 100% in your control. So now we're moving on to the solution. A really simple 3-part toolkit to build a powerful, impressive presence from the very second you walk through a door. First up is expansion, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Occupy your space, stand tall, roll your shoulders back, keep your head up. Taking up physical space is a universal, primal signal of confidence. You're not hiding, you are here. Okay, so let's build on that. Our second tool is to slow your movements down. Seriously, when you rush, you're signaling anxiety, a lack of control. But when you walk with a deliberate, unhurried pace, you project calm, you project authority, and you give off this vibe that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And this quote just nails the whole idea, doesn't it? If you think about it, in nature, a lion moves with this slow, deliberate confidence. It's the nervous prey that's always darting around anxiously. Calm, slow movement is a pure signal of power. The final tool in our presence toolkit is mastering your gaze. So instead of letting your eyes dart all over the place, try using what's called the eye contact triangle. You just look at the person's left eye, then move to their right eye, then gently drift down to their mouth, and then back up. It creates this feeling of intense focus and real connection, and it makes the other person feel like they're the only one in the room. Okay, so you've nailed the entrance. You've established this incredible presence. Now the conversation actually starts. And here is maybe the most counterintuitive secret of all. The key to being seen as brilliant isn't about what you say, it's about how you listen. This brings us to the 70-30 rule. Your goal in a conversation, especially with someone new, should be to listen about 70% of the time and only speak for about 30%. Your job isn't to impress them with all your amazing stories. It's to become genuinely fascinated by theirs. And here's the amazing psychological payoff. When you truly listen to someone and make them feel seen and understood, they don't walk away thinking, wow, that person was a great listener. No, they walk away thinking, wow, that person is a conversation genius. What an interesting person. It totally flips the script on how they see you. So how does all this stuff add up in the long run? Well, mastering these skills isn't just about having one good meeting or one good first date. It has this cumulative, long-lasting effect on how the world sees you, and ultimately, how it responds to you. This is actually a well-known psychological principle called the halo effect. When you make a really powerful first impression, you create this positive halo around yourself. It's a cognitive bias that means people will then interpret everything you do and say afterwards through that positive lens. A great start literally makes everything else that follows seem better. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. Every single time you stand up, every time you walk into a room, you're presenting a form of identification to the world. Your posture is your ID card. So, what does yours say about you?